got 40-ish redclaw tails that look like crumb. Welcome back to another episode, guys. We have just come home from shopping. We went and got a camp oven and a couple other little things. We're just so pumped to start cooking with one. After camping with Crock and Tori for a week or so, every day doing a damper or scones or something, it's bloody so good, so we couldn't help it. We went and bought one. But I did leave the GoPro with Croc this morning, and he went and checked the pots, and he had a little segment of his own, so here it is. Hope you enjoy, guys.
So I didn't film pulling pot 3 and pot 4. They were a little bit disappointing. So we got pot 3, got 3 big ones, and the rest I threw back. They were pretty tiny. Out of pot 4 we got a couple of big ones, but the rest were all about this size. Which I threw some back and just kept some, bit of beer nuts. But these are the ones. These are the ones we're chasing. So here's a pretty good size one, especially with his claws. So yeah, we've got 3 more pots, and we kind of moved those ones down to the dam wall just to try some new ground. We hadn't been down that kind of finger of the dam, so we thought we'll just go down and try them. And yeah, so we still got the 4 pots back in here. There's 3 there, and we got one just down a little bit lower, but they're still producing, so they're still good enough for a feed. So we won't move them, but yeah, we'll see how these 3 down here go, and if we're getting some, like, a good haul of big ones, well, we might just duck back up and pick one or 2 of these up and drop them down there, and yeah, see if we can get a good size, good haul of big ones. But there's still a feed. We've got some still in the fridge from yesterday, and yeah, be enough to have a feed tonight. Anyway. Righto, so this is the last pot. He produced nothing, so even that size is not really worth keeping. So he can go back. He was kind of the biggest. We got a little fish, like a little perch or something, but yeah. Be time to have a beer. It's a little bit early, but there's no one back at camp to tell me not to have a beer, so it works out well. Catch you guys.
How good was that? What are we going to do to Savi? Not a lot. I think Croc said it well before. We're going to have a beer, sit down, enjoy the fire. Croc's been busy cutting wood, so we'll definitely have a red hot cracker burn and all that. And tomorrow morning we'll get stuck into red clawing again. We'll go check all the pots and come back, clean a bit of the meat up, and yeah, we'll do a bit of a cook up. But tell you what, this red clawing business, it is pretty bloody cool, eh? Well, we just come back from Mount Isa, guys, and we went into BCF and we bought ourselves a camp oven. For us, this was definitely the go. So there's a heap of different options, but bang for buck, this kit right here, I feel, is definitely the best you can get for your money spent. This is the go. So what we got is a Lawson 7-piece set from BCF, 120 bucks, and it basically comes with everything that you need to cook your own camp ovens, whether that be roasts or whatever. So I'll get right into it and I'll show you what this kit comes with. But basically, to put this kit together without getting this actual kit is like 200 bucks. So BCF 7-piece set, bloody unreal. Anyway, let's open the box and I'll show you what's in here. So it's obviously brand new, I haven't opened any of it yet, but basically that's just a little hook that you use to pick your camp oven up off the fire. Good thing. A couple of gloves, as well, heat gloves, so or like boiler making gloves or whatever you want to call them. Obviously picking it up off fire, again, gets really hot. This for us was a really cool little thing that it comes with as well. It's just a fry pan, more or less. You can stick straight on the fire and cook your steaks or snags or bacon or whatever it is that you want to cook. Yeah, really cool little thing. So that's that. Obviously you get your bag with it. Yeah, everyone knows what a bag looks like. With all the plastic that you get. 4.5 quarts. And this is the lid. Now these lids are bloody good because you can get the coals straight off them. Doesn't have any other stuff on it, so you can just lift the lid straight up, give it a little dustpan, and it'll all come off. You'll know what I mean if you're going to get another one. I'll show you actually a bit later on. There's the other camp oven that we're using. It's got all these little bits and pieces on the lid, and it's for me a little bit annoying. This is your trivet, so throw that. This is my take on it, but you throw that, you put your coals down, you throw that on your coals, and then you put your camp oven on top of it. Again, good thing. And then this is what it's all about. Right, so this is actually your camp oven. Now, a couple of things that I have learnt over my short time of camp ovening is one handle is way better than two, in my opinion. Two handles, I mean, it's great, but one handle's better, just easy to pick up. Like, obviously, you imagine you're on a fire, you need to use this and pick up a handle on that side and a handle on that side. It just works, but obviously doing that's a lot better. And that's about it. So 4.5 quarts. And that's the camp oven. This is what I was talking about before with the two different camp ovens. So this one is Croc's, and see how it's got like the little knobby bits on here? Just makes it a little bit harder to clean. So when you're cooking and they're full of coals, that one is just a bit harder to scrape off with a shovel. All good, but it's just like if you have the option, probably go that one, in my opinion anyway. But what we're doing now, oh, and another thing actually, while I got Croc's camp oven in, that's the two handles, and when it's really hot, it's just becomes a little bit more difficult, just a little bit more. It's all manageable, but yeah, you got the option when you're buying a new one, just maybe get one with one handle because it's just a little bit easier to pick up. Well, we just rocked up to the Kathleen mine site, and this place is bloody unbelievable. Hey, it's in between Mount Isa and Cloncurry, and it's about 7 k's off the highway, well signed, all that, and the bottom of the mine is actually full of water, and it looks absolutely amazing. Check it out. Hey, so I don't know if I've already told you guys, but basically these nets, we're running dog bickies in one container, and then we're running a bit of rock melon, and today we've got some lemons.
And pumpkin.
Yeah, and there's pumpkin in other ones, but in this particular one, there's dog bickies, lemon, rock melon. So, and don't forget guys, when you're doing it, make sure you got your name on the actual base of the pot and on the float. And this rope is, how long is the rope? 8 meters a rope. We're going to send these ones deep because we've got a few up in the shallows, in about 2 meters. But we're going to send these ones a bit deep and just see what happens. There's a few people around here that have been putting them a bit deeper and getting bigger redclaw. So fewer redclaw, but bigger ones. So we're going to give that a go, and tomorrow morning we'll pull them and we'll see the results. Hopefully they're good. We're going to go pull these the last traps. They've been soaking overnight, and fingers crossed we'll get a few. See you out there. Hey, so we're just checking the redclaw pots and we've spotted a little croc up on the bank. Have a go at this. I've just jumped out and he's just sitting there. So we've pretty much stumbled on a nest of them. Don't know if this is the brightest idea or not, but have a go at this. He's just sitting here. Hopefully the mum doesn't come out and get me. Well, there you go, spotting little baby crocodiles. How friggin' good. Righto, pot number 1. We haven't been doing real good lately, so fingers crossed today is the day that things turn around for us. We got Croc pulling them up. And it hasn't turned for us. One little one.
Which is probably going back.
Yeah, she'll go back, that one. But we've still got all these to pull up. Righto, just pulled pot number 2. Croc's just pulling the last one in the bay. Probably the best one yet. Oh, big fella in there.
Fuck, makes you want to stay another day.
It's a good one. That's kind of the size that we're after, this fella here, but unfortunately they're just not real thick at the moment. So we did decide just before to pull the pots. And of course, as soon as you decide that, you pull the pot in that's full and got all the good sized redclaw in it. But anyway, it's all good. All good. We've caught our fair share, I reckon. And we just got 2 more that we got to walk down the dam to get them. So we'll head down there now, and fingers crossed there's a few in there as well.
One of us will be going swimming.
Unfortunately, it's a scissors paper rock to see who's going swimming to get them. And don't be fooled by the singlets. It's still, the wind has got a little bit of chilly factor to it. We're coming to get these pots and we've literally found this python. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, this guy is pretty decent size, eh? So the battery died. Couldn't even get it on film, but we did actually get our record redclaw. But other than that, there wasn't really a great deal going on. Oh, it's the last night here, and we thought, what better way to finish off the week here at Corella Dam by doing some crumbed redclaw. So before you start, you want to make sure that you do crack a beer, because that's pretty important. You've seen it before. We've done panko crumbs. We've got panko crumbs, sorry, milk and 1 egg, and then just a bit of flour as well. And then this is what it was all about. This is actually the meat out of the redclaw, and that's basically what you get out of one redclaw at Corella Dam, which is fine, but that's probably like a good 40 or so, I reckon, in there. 50 maybe? 40.
No, it'd be 50 something.
Yeah, like that's, yeah. So just keep that in mind when redclawing. There's a bit in it, but the reward is absolutely worth it. Anyway, I'm going to get into this and I'll see you when we're cooking. This is what 40-ish redclaw tails look like crumbed. They're going to go straight into the fridge now for about half an hour, and then that just cools them down and it makes the crumbs stick a little bit better. That's why we do that. But we will do that, and then we're just going to shallow fry them. Previously I've actually deep fried them, more or less, but this time we're just going to shallow fry them and see how they turn out. Well, we're pretty excited. That's a fair plate there, so pumped us. Okay, thanks to Croc for cooking up an absolute bloody killer meal, and that's the shallow fried redclaw. Got to get my words out. And we got some chips.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the time has come. We're packing up, boats are on, redclaw pots are packed away and we're moving on. We just got our border pass. It's Friday today and we are heading across to Northern Territory on Monday. Thanks heaps for watching, guys. Stay tuned for next week. We're crossing the NT border.
When I'll be coming home, then I'll be at your door. When I'll be coming home, I plan to let you know the longing of my heart.
Right, so we got about 2 Ks and it's blowing the tape out, but that's the split there.